Hey. Hey. How you guys doing? How you doing, America? You guys all right? You're feeling a little better? I know it was rough, eh? A rough election for you guys. The campaigning back and forth, the debates. It's been a rough year, really, for America. Just a lot of emotional heartstring pulling and, back and forth, this and that, mudslinging, backstabbing, celebrities coming out and giving their opinion, and a lot going on in America. A lot going on. I have opinions on it, but I'm going to keep them to a minimal in this particular video. What I'm going to say to you is this. When you remove God, you get a replacement of instability. You see, when God is your foundation, it's a rock. It's a strong foundation. Scripture says a house divided cannot stand. You call yourselves the United States of America, and there couldn't be anything further from the truth. It's an actual oxymoron that America considers itself united. The only thing that ever seems to unite America is tragedy, and that in itself is a tragedy. The only time America pulls together and becomes a country united is under a tragedy. Like 9/11, America pulled together. Katrina, America pulled together. Every time it's a tragedy, every time America gets struck with a tragedy, you become united. But as far as being united, you're far from united. There is so much division in America. I could spend hours going through the absolute lists of division. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say that, when you remove God, you remove something very, very strong. You remove a foundation. You see, when you're unevenly yoked, and this is why Scripture talks about marriage between a man and a woman, that you should be evenly yoked. When an oxen is going down a path, and it's got a cart, and it's got the yokes in its mouth, and in both the mouths of both oxen. If one oxen is pulling harder than the other, or if another oxen is going in a different direction, it causes the cart to tip. That's what unevenly yoked means. And America is unevenly yoked from the West Coast to the East Coast. There is no committed agreement that allows you to be stable. And that's why it's very important as Christians to marry a person that is evenly yoked to you, that has the same belief, that has a strong belief. Even if a Christian who is a fundamentalist Christian marries a less fundamentalist, meaning somebody that's a little bit more lukewarm, it's unevenly yoked. You need to be with people that are like-minded, and you need to be with people that are even in your beliefs and in your way of life. And this is the problem with America. America is so divided that the only time it comes together, honestly, and it's sad because it really is sad, the only time America seems to come together and shows any kind of unity, because that's what united means. It means to have unity. And the only time there's any unity, it seems, is under tragedy. And that's the case for a lot of families. That's the case for a lot of organizations and companies and businesses. It seems as though there is so much self and is so much division in wanting what you want, and that the only time you guys seem to really manage to pull it together and become one is during the worst times. Now, I know that a lot of Americans said that they wanted to they wanted to go over to Canada if Trump became president. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the stats, but I have a friend who is the Canadian ambassador over here in the Dominican Republic. I'm Canadian, but I left Canada. So, hey, there's room. I left. There's room for at least 2 or 3 years. But the truth of the matter is that I haven't heard, and we also have connections here, my wife and I, to the American embassy here in the Dominican. And we haven't heard either from the Canadian embassy or the American embassy that there has been an overflow of Americans rushing the Canadian borders or boarding flights into Canada with all of their luggage. Hasn't been a whole lot of activity of Americans moving to Canada. And that, I think that's a good thing, because it's going to give you some time to really, really think about it. I think you're under the impression that Canada wants you to come to Canada, as if we don't have enough whiners of our own. Because, I mean, essentially that's what it is, right? You're upset, you're mad, you're whining, you're complaining, you didn't get your way, so I'm going to leave. I'm getting out of the sandbox and I'm taking my toys elsewhere. So you want to pick up your toys and take them out of the sandbox because you didn't get your way. And the truth of the matter is that, yes, that's exactly what it is that you didn't get your way. So when you don't get your way, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to do the first thing that comes to mind. You're going to pout and get upset and whine and complain and kick dirt and sand and pick up all your toys, and you're going to move. Okay, so let's just understand. Canada, honestly, is not on the edge of their seat awaiting your entry into the country. They're not over on the other side of America, standing at the borders, open arms with trays of maple syrup, pancakes, and Canada Dry ginger ale, or some nice, good, strong Canadian beer. They're just not. I know that you think they're. Canada went, what? Please let Trump win so we can get all these Americans over here. I can assure you that wasn't the sentiment. But here's a question, and I'm going to close real quickly, because I noticed that a lot of you people that were claiming that you were going to move to Canada, a lot of the rhetoric and the reasoning behind your dislike for Trump was that he was a racist because he wanted to put a wall up between America and Mexico. And he was going to get rid of all of the illegals and put them back in Mexico and make them come through the process legally. But just a curiosity, all of you Americans that were screaming and shouting about if Trump gets elected, you're moving to Canada. Why not Mexico? I'll leave it right there. God bless. Put God in your life. Become evenly yoked. America needs God. You guys take care.